Yo guys, what's going on? Today we're working on an iPhone 14 Pro Max. We'll be removing the front screen and we'll also be replacing the battery on this one. This phone looks like it's been opened before, but we're gonna show you guys step by step how to remove the front screen along with the battery. If you're only here to watch the front screen or the battery removal process, I will leave timestamps in the video. That way you can skip to it so you don't have to watch what you don't have to watch. But if you're gonna stick the whole way, I appreciate that. But without any further to say, let's get straight to it. Some tools you will need will be the star screwdriver, tri-wing screwdriver, and these will be the only ones you need. So it's actually a very simple job. It's not too hard, it's not too complicated. Personally, I will keep some alcohol handy just in case. For the screen removal part, we will be using a eraser. We have a brand new one here. I'll be using this one. Some guitar picks. Well, they're not guitar picks, but I don't know what else to call these. So we also have some of these. And then most importantly, we're gonna need a suction cup. I got all of these, well, most of these. I got this one from iFix, from Fixit, or iFix, or whatever the name of the place is. iFixit, yeah, this Buffalo. So I got this one from over there. I also have one of these. I do recommend one of these. Now you can accomplish the same thing with a few other methods, which I will show you throughout the video. But this is optional. But if you have it, that'd be perfect. So I'm gonna put it right here, and then we also have a glue removal tool. This is like one of the best things for us who repair phones. But like I said, you don't really need this one. But if you have it, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier, and you're gonna spend a lot less time trying to remove the glue. So if you're just doing it for your phone, you don't need this. But if you are doing it at a scale, so if you're repairing phones kind of often, 100% get you one of these because it will save you a lot of time. Lastly, we will be needing our parts. So I have the glue afterwards, also known as the water sealant. We have that. We also have battery. We have a diagnostic battery. So for those who repair phones, you guys know what the diagnostic batteries are. And then we also have the screen, which we will be using a premium OLED screen, also known as soft OLED screens. These are obviously the higher quality ones. So these are basically identical to the original ones. Highly recommend these. Okay, so first thing you guys are gonna want to do, I could tell that this phone has been opened before, so I'm not gonna do it, but you are gonna want to heat up the sides, the corners, all around it, just because it's kind of easier to get the screen out. Now, like I said, in this case, I'm not gonna do that just because it looks like it's been opened before. So first thing, what you're going to want to do, now that we have the star screws off, we're going to use our suction cup. As well as our razor to get the screen off. So the screen is not badly cracked, it's just heavily scratched. So we should be able to use the suction cup. Sometimes when the screen is too scratched up, too cracked, it will not work. So let me see if I can zoom in on that as well. I'm going to wedge this in between. We're going to pull up and pry this up. And now when the screen, sometimes when the screen comes off like this means that the screen has been through it. So as you can see, it's coming off, but it's not coming off how it's supposed to come off. And the thing about it, we can't pull it off like that, because if we get to the proximity sensor that's right here, we will break it. So we have to find a way to pull this out the correct way. So we're going to have to find a way first. So we're gonna have to see where it's not I think it's right here. So from this corner, it doesn't look like it's peeled. Let's see if we can get our razor under there. We can. Now that we get a little angle, pull this up. We're gonna put this one under there. And we're gonna pry all the way down. And now, as you can see at the bottom right here, you can see the difference from when the screen is supposed to actually come off to where it was peeling. So as you can see, we would have messed it up right here. So now it's actually coming how it's supposed to come off. So yeah, you can clearly see where we were peeling at first and where it was supposed to come off. This is very important because, like I said, there's a sensor right here. If you pull it off all the way clean, you will break this sensor because there are 2 screws attached to it. And if you don't remove those screws first, you will break that sensor. And it's a pain. It's not that expensive. It's just a pain because you have to, you have to fix it. So, but we got the screen off. And there we go. So this is a sensor that I was referring to. If you just peel this off, you will break it right here. So you have to be very careful when removing this screen. And it has definitely been off just because the proximity sensor, it's kind of peeled right here. You guys take a look, it's kind of peeling, which means that it was definitely worked on. Now, I was talking about a alternative method to using these. Now, this is kind of a tip that I kind of found out along the way. So instead of using those, if you just do it right here with the speaker, you don't scratch it, but you just rub it against it like this. It does the same effect. So, you see? So that's something that I learned along the way. So pretty dope. And there are also some screws missing on this phone, as you guys can see. So there's one missing right here, one missing right here, and one missing right here. I unfortunately don't have any screws for this phone. I have some right here. I'll see if any of these fit, but there's no guarantees. So, but yeah, let's get to removing it. So what you're going to want to do here, you're going to grab the other screwdriver that I told you guys to get. You are going to be using now the Tri-Wing, which is this one right here. Now, I'm not going to use that specific one. I'm going to use this one because I just like this one better. Now we're going to be removing these screws. This one, this top one. I'm sure you can see it. The top one. And this one right here. Alright, now that you guys have these off, you can take this bracket off. I personally put it right here on the side, that way I don't lose it. I also keep the screws nice together. I'm not sure if you guys can see them, but I keep the screws nice together just because it helps me not mess up and forget where anything goes. After you remove the bracket, you're going to want to, firstly, you always want to unplug the battery. You do this before doing anything for any repair. After that, you're going to remove the flex for the screen. And, oh, let's not break the proximity sensor. And then the proximity sensor. Now, you'll fully remove the screen. So, if you are here just to watch the screen removal part, there is a timestamp to where you can skip, to where you can proceed with the screen replacing removal. If you're here to also watch the battery replacing removal, then you can stick around. So now that you guys got the screen off, you can now actually work on the battery itself. So the battery does have some little tapes right here which you're supposed to pull. I'm gonna try my best to pull them off, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I kind of suck at those. So it's these. Let me see if I can show you guys. So it's these right here. Both of these. It's these two. Now, like I said, I'm terrible at peeling these off, but I'm going to try my best. That's just, yeah, that's impossible. So that's not gonna happen. Okay, so since we're clearly not gonna get them off with just their tabs, we're going to apply some isopropyl alcohol around the edges of the entire battery. Make sure it gets all in there. Here, all of it gets a little bit. And then you're just going to want to let it sit there for a little bit. After that, we're going to carefully try to pry the battery out. Now this will not be easy. Now you don't want to do too much with the metal tools, just because these batteries are very sensitive. So you want to put the least amount of force that you can with the metal tools. And there we have it. Here's the battery. And the screen. This battery, make sure you dispose of it in the proper place, just because they're very flammable and they will explode. So just be very careful with these. Now we're going to remove both glues, the one on the battery, and we're also going to remove the glue that's on the side of the screen, so it gets ready for the new installation of the new parts. Here's where the glue removal tool comes pretty handy. All right, now we have the battery adhesive off. Now we have to remove the screen adhesive. All right, now that all the glue has been removed from both the battery adhesive and the screen adhesive, you can replace it with new ones. And this is the new battery. So like I had said, it is a diagnostic battery, which basically means that these don't show up whenever you repair them. Now, they do show up if you do a repair kind of like this one, where the screen and the battery are being repaired. If it would only be the battery that's being replaced, then it would not show up. But just because the battery is also being replaced and the screen, it will show up that it's a used original battery. Now, it's not a used original battery, it's just a diagnostic one, which are kind of like the premium batteries. So they don't overuse it, and they also don't undercut it. So these are really good batteries. If you're repairing phones and you didn't know about diagnostic batteries, get on the market. They also have diagnostic screens. I personally have never tried them, but I also heard that they make those. So we're just gonna test the fit. It should be good. So I'm going to remove the adhesive for the battery. Now we're going to place it. We're going to first connect it. So the reason why I do this is just so I know I have the perfect measurement. So there it goes, connected. Oh, disconnected. Okay, now that it's on there, we're going to place it. And we're going to let it basically place itself down, like so. Now we are going to remove the battery one more. We just wanted to make sure that it fit. So now that we have that set, we can go ahead and peel off the new battery. And what I personally do, you should get a roller. I don't have a roller, but I have this, which is kind of perfect for this. I just roll it down, and this helps the adhesive set a little bit stronger and a little bit quicker. Just press it down gently. Obviously don't do it too hard, because you know, you don't want to crack anything. Now that we have that out of the way, it's time to try out our new screen. So like I said, we're using a premium soft OLED screen, which is the higher end screens. So here's the screen. Here's the back. Put this to the side, and here's the screen. So before anything, we're gonna test the screen to make sure that the screen works. So to do so, we're going to plug the screen in without the proximity sensor, just the screen. And plug the battery in. And we're just going to turn it on just to test it, to make sure that it turns on. Make sure that everything's working as it should be working. Okay, now we're going to remove the screen. Now we're going to transfer the proximity sensors, this is one of the most sensitive parts about this repair. When it comes to this proximity sensor, you have to be very careful. This is the proximity sensor. So there is 2 screws. They're both regular cross screws, X's, whatever. So yeah, you just have to take these off. And then we're gonna take this little thing off. This is the bracket that holds them together. And then this one in particular, it's kind of loose. So I'm not gonna struggle too much taking this one off. You can 100% tell that this has been removed before. Yeah, so it kind of just came off. It usually is not this easy. You can kind of tell that the guy struggled right here on this part. Now it does still look perfectly fine, but you do got to be careful because these two areas right here. So let me show you guys, if I can show you guys. So let me see better. This area right here, and this area right here, both of this necks, they're very, very sensitive. So if you are peeling them off and you're struggling with this one, stop and just take your time with it, because if you break these necks, you're gonna have to get another proximity sensor. And it's not that big of a problem when it's an iPhone 13 and up, but if it's an iPhone 12 or 11, it's kind of an issue, just because sometimes the Face ID is attached to them. So just do be careful with that, okay? Now we're going to remove all the stickers from our new screen. I can't believe some people forget to do this part. For me, this is one of the most satisfying parts of the job. Bang. Now we're going to reinstall the old screen protector onto the new screen. Okay. Now that it's reattached, we're going to reapply the bracket. And you do have to be very careful with this part as well, just because if these things are not properly installed, the phone will go into panic mode, which basically means it will turn itself off every 3 minutes. And it's super annoying to deal with. So you want to make sure that you install these properly and you don't force anything. Everything should just be aligned. And look, I can't twist it anymore. That means that it's good. That's the right amount of torque that you should put into it. Don't overdo it, because you will break the screen. You will have dead pixels. So just be very gentle with it. Look at that, and then it just stops. That's it. That's as far as you go. Now the screen is prepared and ready to be installed into the new phone. So battery already in. We're just going to place these down, starting with the proximity sensor. We're going to attach it at the top side. I start off with the proximity sensor just because I think it's a little bit harder to put on, and the screen is kind of easier because it's just right here. So they're on there. Now we are going to place the bracket back into the phone. One final test just to make sure everything is running okay, just because after you seal it, it will be glued down and it's more of a hassle to remove. So you want to make sure that it's properly installed before anything. But this time we are ready to press the phone down and glue it together. Okay, so we're going to start off with the top. Like so. And now we're going to do it at the bottom. Like so. And then we just do the sides with this one. And now this one. And just like that. And just like that. There you have it. Now there is one final step. That is to put the star screws back into the phone. And just like that, you're all set. Now we're also going to be applying a free screen protector to this customer just because it's their first time shopping with me, and we always provide free screen protectors to first time shoppers. Now that we know that the phone is good, we're going to put some rubber bands around it just because we just put glue on it. So we want to make sure that the phone sits in evenly. So some people use these, some people use these. Now I only use those whenever the customer has time, just because obviously I need those. And while with rubber bands, the customer can just take off with them. You know, I don't really need the rubber bands. I have a whole pack. I have a few packs, so that's gonna wrap it up, guys. That's kind of how to repair the battery and the front screen of an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Very simple, very easy. Be careful with the battery. It can explode, so just be careful with that. But just leave these rubber bands on for about 2 to 3 hours. After that, you'll be all good to go. Brand new screen, brand new battery, and this phone still looks pretty neat. So maybe 3-4 more years of usage. So that's gonna wrap it up for me, guys. So if you guys enjoyed this video, this is my first long-term content type of video, so I hope that you guys liked it. I got some feedback that, you know, I was kind of using the speed up a little bit too much, just because I was trying to get to the videos to 1 minute mark. But we're gonna do this long-term content now, see how it goes. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to drop a follow, drop a subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment with any questions that you guys may have. I'll be looking at the comments all the time. So yeah, just gonna wrap it up. So hope you guys had an easy fix. I'll see you guys on the next one.